If he were alive, you just know he'd be a baseball fan. Yes, sir. The Washington Nationals are in a pennant fight, and the Padres are ready to do some damage. It's game 2 of the series. Well, last night, the Nationals MVP candidate Bryce Harper, with an act, stole first base. And that hurt because Ryan Zimmerman followed with a grand slam and an 8-3 Padres defeat. A loss tough to digest for manager Pat Murphy and company. But tonight, they're right back at it. It's game 2. And a late good afternoon, everyone, or good evening. Dick Enberg with Mark Sweeney sitting in for Mark Grant, taking a week off. Well, the Padres are in a position now to hurt those that are trying to get into the playoffs.
Well, Jed Jerko, especially tonight, has been swinging the bat well. He started the last 3 of 7 games at shortstop. Why I say that? Because that's his natural position in college. He's having fun in the game. Last 23 games, 303 average, 5 home runs, 19 RBIs. Offensively, he has been an outburst that the Padres sorely need.
He now has 10 home runs on the year. This is the Jerko that we saw hitting home runs for the Padres as a rookie a couple of years ago. Now the Nationals are encouraged. They got their full lineup intact now, and their offense is clicking.
Well, obviously you talk about the pitching first with the Washington Nationals, but now having help on the Nationals side, this offense has been clicking. You see the record, the runs, and also the threats in the middle of the order. That is huge for this Nationals to make a run.
But if you're tuning in tonight to see a lot of home run balls, then maybe you ought to go to another game, because Tyson Ross and Gio Gonzalez of the Washington Nationals, they have been the stingiest of any major league pitcher in giving up the home run. 5 and 6 each. And that means we'll probably see about 5 dingers tonight. Stay with us. The first pitch from Washington coming up. And we're set to go. Gio Gonzalez on the mound for the Washington Nationals, the 29-year-old left-hander. Jan Solardi leads off, and he leads off well with a line single back through the middle, and the Padres have Solardi aboard. That's the way to get it started against lefty Gonzalez, who's won 9 and lost 6 with an ERA of 3.98. Solardi continues to be a solid hitter, top of the lineup.
Well, we said last night about the right-handed approach being improved. Obviously, the left-handed swing has produced a lot of home runs, but right-handed has improved, and that's a good sign.
Melvin Upton Jr. in the number 2 slot in the batting order tonight in center field, hitting .241. Just missed a home run last night. Beautiful day in the nation's capital. The low humidity, temperature in the mid-80s. Comforting breeze tonight. 2-0 with Matt Kemp on deck. Three and 0. Is that the book on the left-hander Gonzalez, that he'll wander now and then?
It's funny you say that, Gonzalez, and he's going to give you that fastball curveball change, and mechanics will get the best of him at times. You got to try to disrupt him if you can for the Padres.
Lays in a strike at 93.
Very talented young man with a lot of stuff, but has blow-up innings at times. And that concentration level wavers.
Fouled away, and the count is full. Gonzalez works for him the third base edge of the rubber.
Well, a lot of right-handers, but if you look at the splits, both right-handed and left-handed, not too different. I think it comes into play, Dick, when you're at the third base side, the left-handed hitters can actually see that release point a little bit easier.
Ball 4, and the Padres have their first 2 men aboard. Well, I know you've been waiting for this. We just wanted to delay the drama. It's time for our Saquon Pick the Stick. You fans decide who you're with by tweeting out hashtag I'm with and the last name of the broadcaster you think has the best pick tonight. And if you're right, you could win a free foursome of golf at the Saquon Golf Resort. I have the first pick. I'll take Justin Upton, who has 3 home runs against Gonzalez. Then Norris for Grant. Pomeranz takes Kemp. Solarte is Mark Sweeney's choice. Our leader, Chris Budden, goes with the home run man of last night, Jed Churko.
Imagine her getting the home run hitter.
People are following Chris Budden around, just taking notes to see who she likes, who she might pick.
Yeah, and taking pictures.
Matt Kemp. First ball swinging, fouls it back. Padre leader with 76 runs batted in.
You say rockstar GM, I say rockstar sideline reporter. And pick the stick.
Yeah, it's not just by accident now. We're almost in September, and she's held that lead, however slender at the moment. 1-1. So Gio Gonzalez, what's your approach as a hitter?
Well, it's a good thing that you have to try to pick out a spot typically when you have a plan of attack, and I think you pick out the middle of the plate. The reason why, his mechanics waver, and also the command comes into play, as we've seen early in this game. So look for that mistake pitch early in the count.
On the inside edge, 1-2. Calling the balls and strikes, Bob Davidson, with Hunter Wendelstedt, the crew chief, at first base, Hudson at second, Rackley at third. Padres with a chance early. Solarte at second, Melvin Upton at first. Inside, gets away from Ramos, not far enough for any advance.
Well, Dick, last night against Steven Strasburg, for the example, he's a strike throwing guy that has velocity on his fastball, curveball. So you have to split the plate in half. Look for the outside part and react in. Tonight, look for the center of the plate, because when he makes a mistake, he makes it over the heart of the plate. That's the problem for Gio Gonzalez.
And that was over the center of the plate, but fly to right field. Harper makes the catch. Solarte tags. Here he comes, and here's the throw. A good throw. He just gets in there in time. What an arm by Harper in right field. He is a five-tool player. Here's the Padres lineup tonight, brought to you by Toyota. We've already seen Solarte, Upton, and Kemp. Justin Upton comes up with runners at first and third. Then Jed Jerko, a pair of home runs last night. At first base is Derek Norris. Austin Hedges behind the plate. Veteran Clint Varmus starts at short and hits eighth. And then Tyson Ross, who has the best batting average of any Padre pitcher. So first and third. Infield will play back. Look for the double play. Trade a run for an out, but hoping to get two.
Well, the scouting report for Gio Gonzalez. We talked about the electric stuff, but also command can be very inconsistent. That's why you look over the middle of the plate. We discussed it already. Watch for the Padres to capitalize on those mistakes.
Upton can steal you a base. In his brief appearances, has 7 steals.
Well, I think you have to force the issue tonight for the Padres. Be a little more aggressive, and we've seen an aggressive approach early in this game.
A ball and a strike to Justin Upton, who leads the club in runs scored, home runs, and walks. 20 homers. And he's had success against Gio Gonzalez. He misses again, and the count's 2-1. Upton has faced him 16 times, 5 hits, but the 5 hits include 3 home runs. And there you see it. The action pitch, 2-1. Melvin was jockeying back and forth as if he was itchy to go, so Gonzalez pays a visit.
No, Dick, I played in St. Louis for Tony La Russa, and for guys that didn't have command, he said, when you get on base, I want you to try to distract him. Fake breaks, you'll see a lot of that tonight from the Padres side to try to disrupt Gio Gonzalez.
2-1. Ties him up with a fastball inside.
Well, we already talked about the stuff, fastball, curveball, and changeup for Gio Gonzalez, but he will elevate pitches, especially with 2 strikes, pitches at the top of the strike zone. He does tie up Justin Upton on that pitch.
Jed Jerko on deck. So the Upton brothers here trying to collaborate on an early run.
He gets hit.
Matt Murphy ejected for the 4th time last night. He's in the league lead. And he strikes out. Well, that's exactly what Gonzalez hoped might occur, to strike out a man with first and third and 1 out. And the Nationals defense is brought to you by Renovation Realty. Features Worth in left, Harper in right, Span will patrol center, Escobar and Desmond at third and short, Rondon and Zimmerman on the right side, and Ramos, who homered last night, behind the plate. So Jed Jerko. Padres unable to get a run on and out. Let's see if he can keep it going. Breaking ball in there. One and one.
Well, both home runs last night for Jed Jerko on the fastball. One off Casey Jansen in the 7th was a fastball, a cutting fastball. So you'll probably see a lot of breaking balls, changeups to Jed, and try to set that up with fastballs out of the strike zone.
Misses with that breaking ball, but not by much. He's from Hialeah, Florida, 29. White Sox selected him 38th overall 11 years ago. Made the All-Star game a couple of times. 2-1 to Jerko. He's done well against the Padres. He's 2-0 lifetime against San Diego. Stingy ERA just over 2. It's low. And
that's the
count
change
goes to 3-1.
Seeing a lot of secondary stuff this first at bat for Jed Jerko.
Those 2 home runs caught the Nationals' attention.
The arm speed and that picked up that release point. Jed Jerko, that's an easy take for him.
Back with a changeup. So a full count to Jerko. That'll send Melvin Upton Jr. off from first. Derek Norris on deck. He and Gonzalez connect in a trade of the past. We'll get into that. Fouled away.
When you hear that phrase pitching backwards, that's exactly what's happened. Gio Gonzalez against Jed Jerko. A lot of secondary stuff early to try to get to 2 strikes. You see the fastball there trying to sneak it by. That game within the game. It's so interesting how from day to day that can switch. A lot of fastballs to Jed yesterday.
Back with the 3-2. And another foul. Fastball at 94. Jerko late. Upton back to first base, getting his road work in. He's just peppering that outside corner. And he gets him to chase ball 4, and the inning comes to an end. Padres have an opportunity, leave runners at first and third. And beyond. By Petco, what we feed them matters. By National Car Rental, go national, go like a pro. And by Mercury Insurance, log on to mercuryinsurance.com today and see how much you could save. National Park, located about a mile and a half south of the nation's Capitol building. And speaking of the Nationals, here's their lineup, brought to you by Hyundai. Denard Span, same lineup as last night except for the pitchers. Span, Worth, and Rondon, the first 3. Bryce Harper, the MVP candidate in the cleanup spot. Escobar's a 300 hitter and did some damage last night. Ryan Zimmerman with his 5th grand slam last evening. Then Desmond and Ramos, and his power right down to Ramos, the 8th hitter, and Gonzalez bats 9th. Span, after missing 40 games, back in the lineup last night and welcomed by Nationals fans. Here's our scouting report, brought to you by the Tilted Kilt.
Well, ground ball rate of 63.5 for Tyson Ross. That's 3rd in all of baseball. And in 15 starts away from Petco Park, Tyson Ross, a 2.71 ERA. That's the reason why he's had success on the road.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's 3-6 at Petco, but on the road, 5-3. In front of Span, 2 strikes. Shot by first base and into right field corner, and Span will go for 2, maybe 3. Kent finally gets to the ball, and holding at second with a leadoff double, Bernard Span. Just as the Padres got 2 on with no out in the top half of the inning, Span with a leadoff double.
Well, with Span, a simple approach. He sets that front foot early, gets that down early, and you see he's just using his hands. Sets that foot down, and then the short, compact swing. Hits this right by Norris. I don't think Norris saw that off the bat.
He took a left play.
Yeah, he went to his left and not reading that ball off the bat.
Yeah. Playing a position with which he isn't as comfortable as being behind the plate. You don't see many balls hit to the right of the first baseman to go for doubles.
Well, when you're uncomfortable at doing something, you really have to focus in the hitting zone. If you're not getting a lot of starts in the infield, like a game can pick up rather quickly.
Jason Worth down at 203 his batting average. Little slow roller to the second baseman, Jerko. That moves Span over to third with 1 out and brings up Anthony Rondon. And our Padres defense, brought to you tonight by San Diego County Ford Dealers. Upton and Upton in left and center with Kemp and right. Solarte and Barmascar at the left side of the infield. Jerko and Norris on the right side. And young Austin Hedges behind the plate for Tyson Ross. Rondon against Ross is 2 for 5. There's Joe Ross. We're going to see him tomorrow night, the younger brother of Tyson. Padre high draft pick, but traded to the Nationals along with Trey Turner in the Will Myers deal. Infield in. So each team with the opportunity to score a run on and out. The Padres had first and third with 1 out, but Gonzalez struck out Justin Upton and Jed Jerko. Now it's Ross looking for a strikeout or an easy ground ball.
Well, the ground ball rate 63.5%. That's the reason why you play in early in this game.
Tied him up at 95.
Like you said, Rick, this is a good opportunity for a strikeout. Anthony Rondon recently off the disabled list, but not a bad time to get one of those swing and misses off a slider possibly here.
See if he'll chase, and of course Austin Hedges, one of the reasons he's behind the plate is handle those tough sliders in the dirt. Instead, back inside he goes, 1-2.
That's not a bad pitch right there. Our Fox Tracks had it right on the corner, and a nice job by Austin Hedges sticking that pitch.
So he's worked the ball inside. Now let's see if he goes away with the slider.
It looks like he's going with the slider here.
In the dirt. Nice play. Hedges. 2-2.
Well, listen, when you get the scouting report for Tyson Ross, the first thing you see is slider. And that's the thought that's in your mind as the national hitters take the batter's box. But if you can stay off it, that high release point is very difficult as we take a look at Darren Balsley, the pitching coach.
Well, you know you're going to get the slider. Ross throws more than any pitcher in the National League. And they say young Joe Ross, we'll see tomorrow night, is a copy of his big brother. Throws that slider well. Looks like that's what's coming up. Yeah, caught him looking. There's the strikeout. 2 away. So the Nationals are not going to score on an out. Let's take a look at the keys to the game now, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, Big Brother shows who's boss, and Tyson Ross did just that, showing Joe Ross in the other dugout exactly how to attack these guys. And early offensive support for the Padres, that's going to be very important, and get the ball to Craig Kimbrell. That is the key for success for the Padres.
Now the Padres face one of the top players in all of baseball, 22-year-old Bryce Harper. Just leading in every significant category for the Nationals. Shift is on, but not dramatically so. Barmes still is on the shortstop side of the bag. Jerko out on the edge of the grass at second, and Norris playing deep at first. Harper last night, a couple of fly ball outs, then he doubled to right, walked and grounded out. Off the fists. And of course, it was his walk. Question mark, question mark, question mark, when he did a great acting job that a ball that actually should have been an out at first base ruled that it hit him, even though all the replays show it didn't come close. And as we mentioned last night, it's tough to steal first base, but yes, Harper did it.
It happened.
2 strikes. And the 22-year-old. 96 upstairs. Here's the play last night. This would have been the 3rd out. He crumples as if it hit him, and the plate umpire David Rackley bought it, as did first base umpire Bob Davidson. So he got away with it. Eventually walked, and then Zimmerman hit a grand slam homer.
And it was a late reaction that really bothered me, and collectively the umpires not getting together. You can't replay that if it's a dead ball, and I understand that, but getting together and just trying to get the call right, and they decided not to do that last night.
That took the game from 4-2 to 8-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So a copy of the effort by Gio Gonzalez for the man at third, 1 out. Gonzalez strikes out Upton and Jerko, and Tyson Ross comes back. Span at third, gets first for Rondon, and then Bryce Harper. No score.
National Medical Center and visit some of our veterans that have been injured serving our country, and it was really a remarkable experience. I got to go with them, and what you'll notice from these veterans is their spirit, their drive, and their sense of humor just completely intact. In fact, a lot of them want to go back and rejoin their guys overseas. Also, some Boston bombing victims were also there getting treatment.
There's a line drive single for Derek Norris, picking on the first pitch. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, Dick, it was interesting talking to them and why they were there. They said that not a lot of hospitals have experience dealing with blast injury victims. So Walter Reed invited them down there to come and get some training and to really work. And they said not just learning how to walk, we want to learn how to run. And one of the guys that we met had been back to the marathon and did it hand cycling. So you know, I talked with Mark, you and I talked about this before. It's emotional but remarkable all at the same time. And while they were so excited to meet the Padres, it was the other way around too. These Padres players just so in debt to these veterans.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. What an experience it was. And I got the opportunity before when I was with the San Francisco Giants to do exactly that.
Austin Hedges hits that ball deep to center field. That's a long run for Span, but he's going to make it at the edge of the track for the first down. Norris back to first.
You know, going over there and experiencing it and taking their mind out of what they're going through is really important to watch and see, and the passion of those men and women who have served our great country. It's unbelievable, and it does change your perspective on certain things, and I think it's very valuable for the Padres to go over there and share their thoughts and also see what goes on. Great experience.
Talk about bravery, huh? The bravery to encounter and then to overcome. Clint Barmas. Derek Norris with the leadoff single. Barmas had a base hit last night coming off the bench. Single to left field. My wife, Barbara, has had that experience with the Challenge Athletes Foundation and making that long ride, a 6-day ride from San Francisco to San Diego. And she says no matter how tired you are, then all of a sudden you look over and here's somebody hand biking with his nose right off the asphalt going by you. There's a throw to second base, and out is the call as Derek Norris nailed by catcher Ramos. Looked like Norris was going to beat the tag.
Well, this looks like a hit and run. You could see Rendon putting that foot down where that slide in the back of the base, trying to protect it and make Norris slide to the outside part of the bag, and he applies the tag.
You saw how we blocked the slide of Norris. So 2 outs, and Barmas fouls it away. The count remains 2 strikes.
You know, second baseman for the Philadelphia Phillies, now the Los Angeles Dodgers, Chase Utley, will employ that tactic. And if you know that, that's something that you have to talk about in the dugout. Because any of these guys, especially in second base, will head first slide in the second, and you can hurt your hand by doing that.
But if you want to put your knee in front of the base as an infielder, you're actually begging for a spike wound.
Exactly right.
Another foul. Tyson Ross, the pitcher, on deck. Barmas to right field, and Harper with a catch. We go to the bottom of the second. Manel Escobar leads off for Washington. All right, thank you, Mike. And Houston with the win, at least fortifying their lead over Texas in the AL West. They led by 4.5. Line drive, base hit, leadoff single for Yunel Escobar. He was a troublesome sort last night. He singled the first time and scored. Then he doubled in a run the next, and he walked and scored during the game. Ryan Zimmerman, first baseman. His home run to right field, as Mark Sweeney predicted, has amazing power the opposite way.
And I think this is going to be an interesting matchup tonight because he lets the ball travel. He doesn't worry about that. He likes that right center approach.
And a check of our Arco top tier profile. It is Ryan Zimmerman that we feature. Most career Grand Slams by the Expos Nationals franchise. And Gary Carter, Hubie Brooks, and then Zimmerman with Raines and Wallet. Outside, 1-1. Well, the Mets off to a good start in Philadelphia. They lead 3-0 already in the first inning. A couple of Hall of Famers. Low, 2-1. You liked playing in Montreal, didn't you?
I did. It was a great city to, and hopefully someday they get another franchise back up there, because it was a proud franchise. A lot of passionate fans up there in Montreal. I know it's a hockey town, but they love their Expos, as you can see, even donning the hats here.
Yeah, they had that corn dog look, that uniform for Montreal.
So much talent. Marquise Grissom, Larry Walker, Randy Johnson. They had a lot of talent going through there.
2-2 to Zimmerman. Got him with the slider. The third strikeout for Tyson Ross. He comes into the game with 160 strikeouts, 8th most in the National League.
Well, we talked about the high release, but it goes so far. It looks like that fastball. The awkward swings will tell you the type of stuff that Tyson Ross has, and that's a bad swing by Ryan Zimmerman, but a great pitch by Tyson Ross.
Yeah, he had Ryan Zimmerman puckering up as he missed that one. Ian Desmond, the shortstop, hitting .231 with power. Silver Slugger winner in the National League the last 3 seasons at shortstop. 20 home runs plus. Has his trouble afield. He's committed 23 errors this year. What a real threat in that batter's box. Gets away momentarily, and Hedges pounces on it and holds the runner at first.
Ian Desmond, the last 33 games, has reached 27 of them and a .306 average, 8 home runs, 23 RBIs. It really was the first half that he went through a lot of those struggles, both offensively and defensively.
Two and one. You go back for 4 years from 292, 280, 255, then 231 this year. And the slugging percentage also stair-stepping down.
Well, one of the reasons why they went out and tried to acquire Trey Turner from the Padres was because of Ian Desmond being a free agent. How are you going to replace that? It sounds like they'll let him walk, and that those declining numbers are probably the reason for it.
Ground ball foul. Desmond will be 30 next month. So how do you judge the bell curve of a baseball player's career? You get to 30, then you got to look at a man differently.
Well, the scary thing about an organization is anointing a shortstop that hasn't started a game in the big leagues, and you see Trey Turner right there. Very talented young man, but you never know how they're going to adapt to this main stage.
Got him. Back with the fastball, and that's 4 strikeouts for Ross.
Well, for Tyson Ross tonight, we've touched on the slider, but the two-seamer tonight looks like it is absolutely nasty. The late movement downward, and you can see that ball ends up on the ground.
He has matured before our very eyes since he's come over from Oakland. Going to be interesting for him to watch his kid brother pitch tomorrow night from the opposite dugout. Wilson Ramos homered his first time up last night. A line drive that just cleared the barrier at the foul pole in left field. His 11th homer of the year. He's hit homers in back-to-back games now. How widespread that stance is. Then he closes it on the delivery. That left foot almost out of the batter's box in his preparatory stance.
And he wants to put both of his eyes on the pitcher, and then he closes up as the pitch.
Fly ball to right. Kemp went the wrong way on it, and he can't make the catch. He traps the ball, and over to third goes Escobar. Kemp started back and then couldn't outrun the error, and it's a gift single for Ramos.
Well, we've seen some interesting plays in right field. I'm wondering if Matt Kemp sees the ball off the bat. Here, he does not read this off the end of the bat. And you can see him trying to make up for it. Looks like he slams his head on the turf, too.
Well, he was lucky to catch that short hop. Look, otherwise it goes into the corner, and there's no one to back him up. Look at this. That ball could easily have skipped by him.
So he slams his face right on the turf. Oof.
That'll bring up the pitcher, Gonzalez. First and third, 2 outs. He has only 3 hits all year, 31 at bats. Strike 2.
You know, Dick, you think about the play into right field. Not only does it get the pitcher up, but it turns that order around. Those are some of the things, if you can, try to have that pitcher lead off.
It's a time of night when the lights have not taken their full effect. So 2 strikes to Gonzalez. First and third, 2 away. Keeps that one alive. Foul tip caught Hedges.
This looks like it ricochets right off the thigh area of Austin Hedges.
Remember, he's still a baseball baby in age terms, 22 years of age. Bright future ahead for Austin Hedges. Got it. Chase the slider away. Strikes out the side, does Tyson Ross. Couple of men left for Washington. No score as we move to the third. tomorrow night, final game of the series, 4 o'clock our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. Andrew Kastner against young Joe Ross, Tyson Ross's kid brother. Young man from Oakland, California. They're very high in praise of Joe Ross here in Washington, and Kastner coming off what is maybe his best pitching outing of the season. I hope you'll join us. And then after tomorrow night, Padres hop on a bus and get the 2-hour plus ride up to Philadelphia for the 3 games on the weekend. And one thing that we heard over and over again about Joe Ross from the Washington media is that he acts like he's been in the league 10 years.
Yeah, and he's really taking to Max Scherzer. He's taking him under his wing, and I think that is essential at the big league level.
Tyson Ross can swing the bat. He takes a strike. Tyson, the only Padre with a home run of the pitching corps this year. 1-1.
You know, this park sets up nicely for Tyson Ross, as you see the younger brother looking on and watching his at bat. Tyson has that right center pop.
Foul tip, 1-2. 9 hits to lead the Padre pitchers, and career average 105. He's hitting 209 this year. Line drive, base hit over the shortstop Desmond's head, and Ross has his 10th base hit of the season.
Yeah, he wants to clap. See Joe in that other dugout. Little smile, but nice hitting by Tyson Ross. The elevated fastball. That's a nice approach. A short, compact swing.
Padres' 3rd hit off Gonzalez.
Be careful. You got that veteran Max Scherzer, and you don't want to be too excited for your brother on the other side.
Solarte singled the first time. He pops this one up, and that's going to be just off the dugout area. Well, let's see what Joe Ross thought about this. Come on. Don't do that to me. Pressure's on, kid.
Yeah. I love it.
Swing and a miss, 0-2.
You know, Dick, I'm the youngest of 4 boys, but you think about the magnitude of what just happened, and Tyson Ross at first base, Joe Ross in the dugout. You know, me and my brothers, we did it on a wiffle ball field.
Yeah, not in the big leagues.
Not in the big leagues. It's pretty special.
Another pop fly back a shortstop, and Desmond waiting for it to come down. 1 away. Well, Tyson Ross pitched in Cincinnati on June 5th and June 6th. He hustled over to watch the debut of Joe Ross here in Washington against the Cubs. Went 5 innings and allowed 6 hits and 3 runs, struck out 4, didn't walk any. And one of the remarkable things about young Joe Ross is he didn't walk anybody. I mean, he's got an amazing record so far of not walking opposing hitters. Melvin Upton, ground ball to third, could be 2. No, a juggle at third base. Then he throws it away, and everyone is safe. Third baseman Escobar, too quick and thinking double play. Then he couldn't come up with the ball cleanly out of his glove. And with the bobble and Upton's speed, he had to hurry his throw for an error.
Well, this had a lot of topspin you could see off Melvin Upton Jr.'s bat. And Escobar doesn't field this cleanly. He wants to go to second base, and now he has to hurry up to Zimmerman at first. Now that ate him up just a little bit. Doesn't finger it. He takes a look at second base. Then he has to shift his feet and really hurry because Melvin Upton Jr. getting down on the down the line.
You know, he might have gotten Melvin Upton on the foot going by from that angle. So the Padres with a chance here in the third. Runners at first and second and only one out to Matt Kemp. Flied out to right his first time. Kemp has reached safely either with a hit or a walk 16 straight games. He had his 15-game hitting streak snapped last night. Base hit to right center field. That's all the way through to the wall. Around third comes Ross. Right behind him is Melvin Upton, and he will score. And the Padres lead 2-0 on a ringing double to right off the bat of Matt Kemp. That'll silence the Washington faithful.
Well, we saw Matt Kemp in the St. Louis Cardinals series really pull his hands in. This is exactly what he does on this pitch, inside, and the power to right center. That's his comfort zone right there. And then you watch Tyson Ross rounding third base, scoring that first run, and Melvin Upton Jr. right behind him. That's sweet hitting by Matt Kemp.
Drives in his 77th and 78th run of the season. He's in the top 10 in the National League. Well, the error pays off in the Padres' behalf, and first ball swinging is Upton, fouls it off. So the error becomes a run. Escobar not feeling too good about that. Might have had a double play had he fielded it cleanly.
Well, these are the things that you can see. Gio Gonzalez, this is when he goes through stressful innings and mentally starts losing it at times.
That ball drilled to left center field. How far will it go? It is in the bullpen. A home run. Touch 'em all. Justin Upton. He pauses. That got out of here so fast he wasn't sure that it cleared. And the Padres, just like that, back to back, a 2-run double, 2-run homer, and they lead it 4-0.
This is an absolute cannon shot of Justin Upton, a line drive into the bullpen.
Oh boy, Matty.
And you realize that Gio Gonzalez struggles at times when things don't go right and the mistakes start coming. This is a mistake right over the heart of the plate. Well, you take a look at this swing right here, down through the baseball and then through, and that line drive approach.
Jed Jerko follows. That's the 21st homer of the year for Justin Upton. We told you earlier he's had amazing success against Gonzalez. 5 hits and only 16 at bats, with 3 of them home runs, and now 4 home runs and 17 at bats. So Tyson Ross, he lit the fuse with his single. Melvin Upton safe on the air by Escobar at third, then the 2-run double Kemp, and a 2-run home run shot off Justin Upton's bat. Jerko struck out the first time and goes down again on 3 pitches.
Well, a day after Justin Upton's birthday, and he hits an absolute bullet for a home run, and that bat speed is so impressive.
That was a rocket into the Padre bullpen. Derek Norris singled the first time. We mentioned earlier that he and Gio Gonzalez, their careers connect. First ball swinging. 4 years ago, after the 2011 season, the Nationals traded for Gio Gonzalez from Oakland for Derek Norris. Norris went to the A's along with 3 minor league pitchers. Norris signed originally by Washington. For 4-0 San Diego here in the top of the third.
Well, Dick, you saw Wilson Ramos at that point right there, and typically Jose Lobaton, the backup catcher, catches Gio Gonzalez, and that's his safety net. Wilson Ramos is swinging the bat well. That's the reason why he gets the start tonight.
Fly ball. First baseman Zimmerman into foul territory. Collects the final out. But the Padres hit a big 4 in the 3rd inning. Ross with a single. Melvin safe on the air. Then the 2-run double by Matt Kemp, and the 2-run home run shot Justin Upton. That'll make the Irishman smile.
I've been saying I hope that he throws probably 6 or 7 shutout innings, and then once he comes out, we score off the bullpen. I mean, for me, that's as good as it's going to get. I just want us to win, and hopefully he does good out there today.
I remember talking to Tyson when he saw your debut, and he said, I was way more nervous watching Joe than I've ever been for any of my starts. Is it the same way when you watch him?
Yeah, thinking back to his debut in 2010, I think, it was the same way. I never really get nervous before games, and I couldn't sit still for 1 second in my chair, so, I'm glad it was the same way with him and me, this year.
So a little fun with Joe Ross talking about his brother Tyson. We also talked to him about, is he glad that they didn't match up on the same day? And he said, definitely. We said, if you face Tyson at the plate, what would you throw him? He said, sliders all day long, because the last thing I need is Big Bro to hit a home run off me. I'd never hear the end of it.
You can be sure of that. Well, Tyson Ross has made his statement with the bat tonight. That single to start the 4-run top half of this inning. Denard Span doubled to right field his first time. Ground ball to Norris. He captures it on the second hop. 1 away. And here's a comparison to big brother, little brother. Fastball, sliders.
Yeah, what that tells me is they have a lot of communication in fastball and slider. Joe Ross mechanically has been known to be much better than Tyson Ross. We've talked about Tyson, and that when he reels in his mechanics and he's comfortable with those, you see the uptick on curveballs and sliders and a lot of confidence to go along with that.
Jason Worth grounded out to second his first time. Just in that freeze frame of the two brothers, you could see how Tyson really, the upper chest is really extends that on delivery, doesn't it?
Yeah, and he also has that short stride, which I think we've always alluded to, and Darren Balsley has done a really nice job corralling that and getting him in the right direction. But for Joe Ross, a smooth mechanics, and we'll see those tomorrow.
2-1 now to Worth.
For Joe, it was basically fastball command, corralling the velocity on a fastball, tapering down just a little bit, but he also has that wipeout slider to go with it.
Fastball hits the outside corner.
This is the direction and the short stride for Tyson Ross. He stays tall, the high release point, and the uncomfortable swings.
There's another as Worth goes down swinging. 6 strikeouts now for Tyson. 2 away in the third. This is the shutdown inning. You get a 4-run lead. You want to blank the opposition. Hold your serve.
And how you do that is continuing with the 2-seamer and the slider combination, both to the glove side.
Anthony Rondon, he struck out look at a slider the first time.
You saw on that graphic, very aggressive with the fastball tonight and leading off Rondon with the fastball.
Right back with a 96. 1-1.
And he's in a good rhythm, and I think it has a lot to do with Austin Hedges putting down that sign, executing the game plan. And that's that cutter, which I think is pretty important, the 91-mile-an-hour cutter to go along with that slider that has a little more depth and downward movement.
It sets up the slider, doesn't it? 2-2. You throw that cutter, and it's for a strike, and the hitter may be thinking, well, this looks like it might be a slider. It's going to be outside, and it stays on that outside corner.
Exactly right.
It's a changeup.
Slider.
Everything away to Rondon. 1,122 sliders, more than anyone in baseball. Full count. Got him again. Ball in the dirt. Hedges to Norris for the putout, and the Padres look at the Nationals go down for the 7th time on strikeouts. Casino. Play, win together in the heart of San Diego. And by Jack in the Box, limited time, try the new Portobello Mushroom Buttery Jack with melted garlic herb butter. And by 5-Hour Energy Shots. Have you tried great tasting 5-Hour Energy lately? With Mark Sweeney and Chris Budden, Dick Enberg back at Nationals Park in our nation's capital. 4th inning. Padres leading 4-0. It'll be Hedges, Barmes, and Ross, the lower 3 in the batting order, against Gio Gonzalez. Hedges fly to center his first time. Two and 0.
Well, I've said Austin Hedges, these days he has done a nice job, and I think along with the hitting coaches, shortening his swing, and now he's starting to compete in the batter's box. Obviously not the numbers that you want to have.
Boy, that's a shot back through the middle, and Hedges has a base hit to lead off the 4th inning.
With shortening your swing and working and feeling like you're doing the right things, you gain confidence. And for Austin Hedges, that's exactly what's happening. And you can see the shortening of his swing and the compact swing down through the baseball. That is very important for him, not to get long. And you can see him working the center of the field. The last time out, you said, Dick, he flew out to center field. That was a good swing, setting him up. And now working that hard ground ball to center. Nice approach by Austin.
Barmes flied to right his first time and takes outside. 6 hits now for the Padres. The big blow, the 2-run homer by Justin Upton that followed the 2-run double to right center off the bat of Matt Kemp. He misses inside. 2-0.
Well, exactly that. We've talked about looking at the center of the plate, and that's on the edge right there. It's a good take by Clint Barmes. It's right on the edge, but you got to look the center of the plate.
Over but low.
I'm very impressed with the Padre approach tonight collectively.
Hedges checking the outfield alignment as good base runners should. 3-0 to Barmes. Just on the outside corner.
Now, this is a situation you want to be aggressive 3-1, but you want to be very specific on what you want to attack.
Ball 4. That pushes Hedges to second. The second free ticket from Gio Gonzalez, and that allows Ross to come up with the sacrifice in mind.
Padre fans, tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag SDDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
I saw you and Pomeranz taking some selfies there back home. Were you trying to get onto this
Listen,
T-Mobile?
He likes taking pictures. I don't, but I have to. You know,
that's not what he tells me.
We're a team. We got to stay together.
Yeah, the Padres with a 4-0 lead have a chance for more here in the top of the 4th inning. Hedges at second, Barmes at first. And the infield looking for the sacrifice. Ross with a solid single and scored the last time up. Beautiful bunt. Gonzalez, no chance to go to third. Ross gets the job done. Hedges moves up to third base. Barmes to second, and the Padres bring up the leadoff hitter, Jan Solarte.
Well, perfect execution for Tyson Ross, helping himself again tonight. Just setting that angle and bunting over to first base. Nice job, and having the pitcher fielding that bunt.
Yeah, Ross has not only more hits than any Padre pitcher, but more sacrifice hits. That's his 8th of the year.
It's a great benefit for Jan Hervis Solarte, infield in with the 4-0 lead for the Padres. Puts a lot of pressure on Gio Gonzalez.
The Padres are hit away from a sizable advantage. Good man with runners in scoring position. Check swing. Single to center his first time. Hop to short the last. Escobar, Desmond, Rondon, and Zimmerman in tight. Hitter's delight. That's a ball slicing into foul territory. Zimmerman, the runner's tagging, makes the catch. And here comes the runner to the plate. Hedges, he scores. And over to third goes Barmes. It's 5-0. Well, Zimmerman made a good play, but with a first baseman running away from home plate, that's an ideal time to tag and score, and it works.
Well, there's a lot of things in this play, and you see Ryan Zimmerman with infield in. He has to go a long way for this baseball. Can't set his feet. Makes a nice catch over the shoulder. But Austin Hedges, you can see getting that tag and sliding in head first. And also Glenn Hoffman, the third base coach, very animated and doing the right thing, communicating to Austin Hedges.
That's the way to steal a run here. A single, a walk, a sacrifice, and a foul ball sacrifice fly. And a chance to even add on. It's 5-0. Barmes at third with 2 outs to Upton. He's walked and safe on an error. Upton.
Say he wants to be a GM.
And a discouraging outing for these Washington fans from Gio Gonzalez. He was to have pitched tomorrow night. Matt Williams, the manager, moving Gonzalez into tonight's slot, originally scheduled for Max Scherzer, giving Scherzer a few days extra rest to set up his pitching rotation for the upcoming New York Mets series, and that's why Ross then is pitching tomorrow night.
Well, Max Scherzer has struggled in the month of August. Not a bad time to give him a couple days rest. That's your ace, and you're going to rely on him moving forward if they are going to get in that playoff race.
Doug Fister is up in the Washington bullpen. And taken strike 3. Melvin Upton didn't agree, but that's it for the Padres in the fourth. They add a run. They leave a man at third. It's 5-0 going to the bottom of the fourth. All right, thank you, Mike. And the imposing hitter for the Nationals leading off the fourth is Bryce Harper. And he lines one foul down the left field line.
Now, Dick, you heard Steve Finley, who had a lot of success at this big league level hitting the fastball, and the movement and velocity of that fastball, setting up the secondary stuff. Very aggressive with the fastball for Tyson tonight.
Harper, with a man at third and 2 outs in the first inning, struck out swinging. Shift on, all 3 on the right side, and the slider low and in. Solarte about 20 feet off the bag at third on the shortstop side. There's the alignment. Farmer's not moving out into shallow right.
Now you see the patience of Bryce Harper. He has earned that respect, and you can see how Tyson Ross is working in. Fastball away, and then also inside. Almost an approach that he already has 2 strikes, and you're trying to throw that difference maker pitch as he gets into a hitter's count.
Ross has not walked anyone thus far. 3-0 now. 3-1 rather to Harper. And he loses Bryce Harper to open the 4th. Just is 22 years of age in this league. You can add up those home runs. 22, 42, 55, 86 home runs, and he's not 23 yet.
Well, career highs already, 31 home runs.
Yeah, he's going to hit 40 home runs this year, don't you think?
I do. Unfortunately, they're probably not going to throw to him a lot more down the stretch, and they're going to have the other guys behind him try to beat him.
Yeah, that's his 92nd walk. Escobar single to left his first time, and he grounds this one. Diving stop by Norris, goes back to the bag for the out. He
Good
thought
decision.
about going to second. That might have been hazardous. Good play by Derek. Harper moves to second with 1 out. Here's Ryan Zimmerman.
Well, when you have leads, you have to get outs, and Derek Norris getting off first base and diving, making a nice play, thinks about going to second base and takes an out.
5-0 lead. That's the right play. Zimmerman struck out swinging in the second inning. Well, tomorrow night, 4 o'clock again, our TV time here on Fox Sports San Diego. We'll wrap up the 3-game series with the Nationals. Andrew Kastner looks for his 6th win against young Joe Ross. Tyson's brother is 4-5. Misses again, 2-0. Justin Upton, birthday last night. Number 28. Have another birthday in that dugout tonight. 3-0. The throw to second. Now back. Oh, he dropped the ball. They had him nailed as Jerko unable to field the ball cleanly. They pick him off second base, Austin Hedges. But Jerko, in his haste to throw to third, drops the ball. They're going to call that a stolen base, but this would have been an out.
Well, you see Bryce Harper take an opportunity. This could have been disastrous for him if Jed Jerko throws him out at third base. He can't get a handle of it.
That's a gift stolen base. So a walk, a ground out, and a steal. Harper at third, and the count now 3-1. Among his many talents, Harper will steal you a base occasionally. That's his 6th.
Well, not a very good baseball move when you're down 5 runs,
no.
But it worked out for the Nationals.
Back to the mound, knocked down short. The throw by Jerko in time, but that'll score a run. Had Ross fielded cleanly, and Harper would not have been able to score. Credit Zimmerman with his 54th RBI on the ground out. 1-4-3. 5-1 Padres. Ram Trucks tools of the trade with Mark Sweeney.
Well, you're looking for Tyson Ross, and it's fastball slider, but tonight you've seen the implement of the cutter, and watch the cutting action and the miles per hour, and that's just a different look, and gets Rondon's looking on his first pitch, and then the second at bat he goes to that slight little cutter, freezing Rondon.
Barmas at short, the throw across, and that'll do it for Desmond. So the Nationals score a run without a hit in the fourth, cutting the lead to 5-1. Kemp with an RBI double to right center that knocked in two to give the Padres a 2-0 lead in the third. And with Kemp at second, Upton hit this laser to left over the 377 sign, his 21st home run of the year. And in this past inning, Solarte a foul fly, and Zimmerman unable to throw out Austin Hedges, who tagged from third. The Nationals answered in the bottom of the fourth with a run without the aid of a hit on a walk, ground out a steal, called a steal, although Harper well could have been thrown out at third. Jerko dropped the throw from Hedges, and Desmond grounded out to end the inning. Gio Gonzalez with 72 pitches goes to work against Matt Kemp here in the fifth. Padre hitters have carried out the game plan, don't you think?
I love how they're competing in the batter's box tonight. A little more intensity you see from them.
2-0 to Kemp.
And you'll see that, Dick, because of the success Steven Strasburg had last night. You come to the ballpark and say, listen, this is the second game of the series. We got to win this one.
Foul tip. Padres have won their last 4 series. They'd like to continue in that pattern. They've got to win tonight and tomorrow. Washington fans certainly playing scoreboard now this late in August, and they see that the Mets continue to lead at Philadelphia 3-0 in the fourth. Strike 3 called, and Kemp knew it. That's the 5th strikeout for Gio Gonzalez. Brings up Justin Upton. Upton struck out and hammered his 21st home run of the season.
Well, he misses his spot. I think he wanted to come in, and this locates out. You see the catcher Ramos reaching for that pitch, but over the plate it goes, and back to the dugout goes Matt Kemp.
.21 home runs now and 69 runs driven in. Such a compact power swing.
And you see him get underneath that baseball, but the intent of driving the baseball, that'll get in the minds of those pitchers. That's why they get a lot of mistakes. That's a good breaking ball.
0-2. Purpose pitch high and away, wouldn't chase. Doug Fister continues to throw. Gonzalez is scheduled to hit second in the bottom half of this inning. Two and two to Justin.
Well, good sign tonight. The Padres are 21-2 this season when both Upton and Kemp record an RBI. Well, that happened tonight.
Back to back. Low again. Full count to Upton. After jumping in front 2 strikes, Gonzalez trying to nibble. Upton not biting. And he chases there. That would have been ball 4. 6 strikeouts now for Gio Gonzalez. Well, time for our great moment in Padres history, brought to you by Geico. August 23rd, 2013, Jed Jerko hits a couple of home runs. His first in the career against the Chicago Cubs. Edwin Jackson and Blake Parker delivering, and Jerko with a pair of home runs, following up his 2 home runs last night. So he's done it 3 times in his career. He struck out both at bats tonight. So Gonzalez, true to form, he's been a strikeout per inning pitcher throughout his career, and he's fanned 6 in almost 5 innings tonight. Ground ball toward left field. It squirts through under the dive of Escobar. A changeup, and Gonzalez with the base, or with Jerko with the base hit off Gonzalez. Padres, players that have hit a couple in the game. Justin Upton twice, Jerko, Melvin Upton, Solarte, Norris, Spangenberg against these Nationals. And a pitching change being made as Matt Williams goes to the mound with 2 outs here in the 5th inning. That'll be it for Gio Gonzalez. Padres lead 5-1.
Tomorrow, Coach Long gives us an exclusive play breakdown in the film room. Plus, go on the field with new special teams coordinator Bobby Hawk. The coach Long previews the 2015 season tomorrow after Padres Live on Fox Sports San Diego.
I like Rocky Long. He likes baseball too. Pitching change brought to you by El Cajon Ford. Doug Fister, veteran right-hander, was in the starting rotation, and Joe Ross has taken his spot. Faces Derek Norris, who has a single and a foul out.
Well, the numbers aren't good, and he's been thrown into the bullpen, and it has a lot to do with that sinker not sinking.
2 outs and Jerko at first base.
And think about it, they made a transaction yesterday sending Tanner Roark, who won 15 games. He's been in the bullpen all year. They want to lengthen him out to get on that September run, but Doug Fister with 16 wins last year goes to the bullpen as well.
That ball hooking foul into the crowd down the left field side. Yeah, after a 16-6 season and a terrific ERA of 2.41, he's fallen off this year dramatically. 4 wins and 7 losses and an ERA almost 4.7. Opposing hitters are batting .305 against him. Toward the left field corner, and that one is fielded by Escobar, and the force at second. We're at the halfway mark in this one. 4.5 in the books. The Padres lead it by 4.
Welcome back to Nationals Park. Now, the Nats have an interesting setup when they take BP. They put extra netting up in the foul territory. It goes from the end of the dugout to the end of foul territory, so it doesn't go over the dugout, which is also an area of concern. But in all the ballparks we've been to, this is the first time I've ever seen it. And in talking with Pat Murphy, he said, I think those should stay up the entire time and they should circle the whole park. And I know, Mark, this is something you and I have also talked about. It's hard to find coaches that disagree with it, but at least people are starting to notice and starting to do it during batting practice. We'll see if eventually it follows suit. Too many people injured this season.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris.
Ramos slices that one into the right field corner. Kemp over to watch it fall in the seats.
You know, it's so frustrating to see, and when you're in the dugout as a player, you see those foul balls ripped into the stands, especially have that netting at least over the dugouts. Maybe not all the way down the lines, but I think that has to happen because of safety for the fans.
It's the check swings that land between home and first or home and third. Those get in there at such a wicked pace.
Yeah, and you're not always watching every pitch, and you can't assume the fans are as well.
Ground ball sharply, but right at Barmas at short, and he throws out Ramos, one away. Now let's see what happens here with Gonzalez replaced by Doug Fister.
Well, this is pretty interesting. Doug Fister coming up and down 5-1, not having the double switch as you alluded to, Dick, with Matt Williams. In the National League, you have to be creative as a manager. This is just a raised eyebrow situation, not having a double switch, and you know Fister has to go a couple innings.
Well, he's not a bad hitter. He's 7 for 28 at .250 average. Maybe that factors in. Matt Williams not doing the double switch, taking out his starter with 2 outs in an inning. Pretty tough chore for Fister to come in and face the wicked stuff from Tyson Ross. And he strikes him out on 3 pitches. Well, thank you very much. 8 strikeouts for Tyson Ross, and it's time for our Cholula flamethrower.
Oh man, 96 with movement, and that is hot sauce. You know where I can find a crab cake, Dick?
Yeah, that depends on how much that hot sauce is moving.
Ooh, I like the hot sauce on the crab cake.
Leadoff hitter Span, double and a ground out. 2 away, bases empty here in the 5th, and the Padres leading 5-1. Fouled at the plate.
You know, when you talk about the double switch situation, Dick, it's not necessarily you have to do that, because there are other factors involved. Who's healthy in the bullpen, who has to have innings, and how you save it moving forward with big series coming up on the weekend. Matt Williams has to make that choice, and if you're going to be managing in the big leagues, you have to make those tougher decisions, even when you feel like it's not the right one at times.
We're far away from the action, but it just is puzzling. It wouldn't matter whether Matt Williams or Casey Stengel's managing, but with 2 outs in an inning and your starting pitcher going to come up in the bottom half of the inning, you just don't expect to have a pitching change and then have the relief pitcher hit.
Ian Desmond makes the last out. You have Trey Turner, one of their top prospects, come up. Perfect time to get some playing time for Trey Turner and also implement that double switch and have Doug Fister in the 7-hole.
1 ball and 2 strikes to Span. Sharply hit. Barma's positioned perfectly. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Tyson Ross. 5 in the books. Padres 5. Nationals 1.
We have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag SD Data Strong Fan for for a chance to be featured in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile.
Well, look at that. I think that's Tony Gwynn in the photograph behind that love couple. Very nice.
He's probably raking a double.
Who, Tony or? Oh, I guess. I guess not. Only a single there. Padres in the 6th inning. Hedges, Barmes, and Ross. They got a run out of this combination the last time when Hedges led off with a single, moved around and scored on a sacrifice fly. Goes around there. 1-1. 5 runs, 7 hits for San Diego. 1 run, 3 hits for Washington.
Well, for Doug Fister, his problems have been the sinker and elevating the sinker. It's more side-to-side movement for the Padres. Try to elevate that pitch. Even the breaking ball, he can elevate.
Another base hit for Hedges. Well, that was the question mark around the future as a major leaguer for Austin Hedges. Everyone from day one knew that he could play the position as a big leaguer. Could he hit enough? And as you pointed out, his swing is improving.
It is improving, and the confidence is improving, more importantly. And this is the elevated pitch, and you can see him getting through that baseball. And you're short to the baseball, and that barrel continues through the ball. You're in a good position.
And Barmes follows with a fly ball back of short into shallow left center. This could be trouble, and Span finally comes in, calls off the shortstop Desmond for the first down.
You always got to love seeing some adjustments made by young hitters, especially Austin Hedges. He's up here to catch and call games, and he's improving offensively every single day in every start he gets.
Tyson Ross, a single and scored, and a sacrifice, so he's done his job both on the mound and at the plate. Look at that, 3 for his last 7. And he's there to bunt again and takes ball 1. Try to get Hedges over into scoring position for the start of the order.
Cool.
Almost walked into that.
This two-seamer stays up and starts running in a top hand of Tyson Ross.
Oh, a little butcher boy there. A little late on the swing, made good contact.
Oh, I like this from Pat Murphy, being aggressive. When you have a lead, you have options. Setting Austin Hedges on the run.
Hit and run with the pitcher up there now with 1 and 2. Ross checking to see if they want him to go back and sacrifice.
Stay tuned. The game break. Los Angeles Dodgers against Cincinnati Reds.
Swinging and a foul ball. Foul ball past third. Well, Doug Fister played his college ball in California with the Bulldogs of Fresno State. High school at Golden Valley, California. And came over in a trade a year ago from Detroit. Steve Lombardozzi, Ian Kroll going to the Tigers along with Robbie Ray. And produced big time, 16 wins last year. In the dirt. Well, Ross is gained the respect of this Washington staff. They're pitching to him like he was a cleanup hitter.
Yeah, that's good. You're earning the respect.
Slicing into the right field corner, a long run for Harper, and it's foul. He's got good power at the opposite field. One out Hedges at first base with a leadoff single. Solarte waits on deck. Shot to left field.
Wow.
How about that? Hubba hubba. Tyson Ross, 2 hits and a sacrifice fly tonight. They let him swing, and for good reason. Confidence building down in that dugout, and Joe Ross says, I'm not sure I can match that tomorrow night.
Yeah, Big Brother's putting on a show. This is that two-seamer, stays elevated. It flattens out, and Tyson Ross pulling his hands in nicely.
Couple of sharp singles off the bat of Ross tonight. Hedges moves to second. Top of the order, Solarte. 9 hits now for the Padres. Solarte, a single, a pop-up, and a sacrifice fly. Batting left-handed for the first time tonight. Trying to grab an insurance run or maybe 2 here in the 6th. One and one. Nationals begin tonight 5.5 behind the Mets, who lead in Philadelphia 3-0 in the 5th. Fly ball to right. That's going to chase Harper back, tagging his Hedges. He'll move to third, and Ross is going to try to make it to second, and he is out of there. He slid by the bag. Well, that was risky. Having your pitcher tag and try to advance on a fly ball to right. Harper's got a big arm. Ross was in there in time. He just didn't lock into the bag on the slide.
Yeah, I think it was the pop-up slide that got Tyson Ross.
So it becomes a double play. 9-6. See, he's in time. Just loses contact. Mike Leake. And they just don't have any pitchers to get the opposition out. They're about to lose their 11th game in the last 12.
Yeah, and from the Dodgers' perspective, and their offense has been good, but you've got to worry about that back end of the bullpen.
Jason Worth, high fly ball to shallow left. Upton coming in. And one pitch, one out, as Worth now 0 for 3 tonight. Let's go back to Tyson Ross tagging and trying to move up on the fly ball to right.
Well, you see Tyson Ross, that front foot right there. That's the problem that you have. And then what happens, that front foot's got to hit that part of the bag. And you can see when your front foot goes over, your momentum with Tyson Ross's slide takes him off the base, and Ian Desmond applies the tag.
That's a big out. Runners would have been at second and third with 2 outs and a chance for Melvin Upton to add to the 5-1 lead.
And not a bad thought by Tyson Ross. But the slide and executing that would have been a big play, second and third.
Rendon 1-1. He struck out both times. 8 strikeouts total for Tyson Ross tonight, building his total on the year to 168. He started 8th most in the league.
We alluded to it earlier of the rhythm that Tyson Ross is in. He looks locked in mentally tonight. I think it has a lot to do with Austin Hedges, and they have good chemistry tonight. Always such a great dynamic to watch, that starting pitcher and the starting catcher mixed together.
Right field toward the line goes Kemp. Watch out now. And right into that wall. Can't make the play, but wisely made a slide before he collided at full speed with that right field padding.
Well, aggressive play by Matt Kemp behind Tyson Ross, and you see him sliding into this padded area, protect himself so he doesn't go in full speed. But nice effort by Matt Kemp.
So just 76 pitches when you strike out 8 men and you're into the 6th inning. That's very efficient, because those strikeouts cost you a lot of tosses. 1 and 2. And the fastball away.
I think it has a lot to do with the fastball command. Strike 1 has been important tonight.
Bryce Harper to follow here in the home half of the 6th. I'd like to bring him up with the bases empty, but that won't be the case as Rendon singles to left field. Only the 4th hit tonight of Tyson Ross. Our closed captioning tonight from Washington, D.C. brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. So 1 out single. Harper, even when he doesn't hit, is a threat, and by walking the last time, he moved to second on a ground out, was picked off second, but was able to get to third when Jerko dropped the ball. Credited with a steal was Harper, and then he scored on a ground out for the only Nationals run thus far.
Oh, I like that. I like how Tyson Ross, he feels very comfortable on the glove side, but moving the feet of Bryce Harper make him uncomfortable.
Big at bat here with the Padres leading by 4. That's in the gap in right center field. Kemp goes over. He can't get it. Melvin Upton can't get it. A runner had to hold Rendon to see whether or not one of those 2 outfielders could chase it down. That ball not hit off the sweet part of the bat, fortunately, but directed well for a base hit. So 2 on with 1 out. And Yonel Escobar, the batter.
That's a good mound visit by pitching coach Darren Balsley to calm Tyson Ross down, give him a little breather. He was on the base pass last inning, as we alluded to earlier, sliding into second base.
And he may not have been able to erase that from his memory bank, the fact that he sliding on second base. He's competitive, wanted to do the job. All right, back to business. First time tonight the Nationals have 2 base runners aboard. Still plenty left in the tank. 81 pitches.
You know, Escobar 17 grounded into double plays. This is a good situation for that. Tyson Ross inducing the ground ball. Could be a good scenario here for the Padres.
Single tonight and a ground out to first. A good play made by Derek Norris, diving into the hole to take a hit away from him. He's been impressive in the 2 games of this series. 2 hits last night and a line out. He scored a couple of runs. And he's 1 for 2 tonight. That gets away from Hedges, and the runners move up. That takes away the double play.
For the last 4 or 5 pitches, this is the first time that Tyson Ross has not looked good mechanically, missing his release point. See the wild pitch there.
So Rendon to third and Harper to second.
Yeah, tough pitch for to block is the fastball in the dirt, and Austin Hedges tries to glove this. Ricochets off the glove, and the runners advance.
Infield stays back now. They'll trade an out for a run. Big slider, 2-1.
Looks like he took a lot off on that pitch. 84 miles an hour on that slider.
We're in the 6th, 1 out. Nationals with a couple men in scoring position. Padres leading at 5-1. And now 3-1. Escobar with Ryan Zimmerman, who hit a grand slam last night, lurking on deck. Outside corner with a 2-seamer, huh?
That is absolutely filthy. 92 miles an hour and late movement. That's a 2-seam action. Coming right on that edge of the plate.
Beautifully received by Hedges. So full count. Way outside, and the bases are loaded. Just the second walk from Tyson Ross. Now that brings the tying run to the plate, and the fans build a roar as Zimmerman steps up. About this time last night, it was in the 6th inning, as it is now, that he hit the grand slam home run to right field. That's where his power is.
Well, as you said, that the right center approach, you got to know a good hitter's count last night and change the game with that grand slam.
His 5th grand slam off Bud Norris, Padre relief pitcher. All right, here's a tense moment in this game for the Padres with the bases loaded. Only 1 out. High fly ball, deep right center. Upton is there. He has the out. Runner's tag. And there's a misplay in the outfield, and here comes the runner from first to second. Well, that's not good. It's 5-2 on the sacrifice fly. Tagging on the play was Harper to go to third, but holding was Escobar at first. But when the throw from Upton came in to the infield, it got away, and that allowed the advance by Escobar.
Well, you see the throw by Melvin Upton Jr., but a sloppy play by Jed Jerko. He takes his eye off this ball and ricochets it. And then Escobar takes advantage of that play and goes into second base in scoring position.
It should be an error on Jerko. So that moves the runner into scoring position where a single could make it a 1-run game. Ian Desmond is struck out and grounded out. Ball 1.
A good block by Austin Hedges, second and third. Adding that trust factor to Tyson Ross, being able to bury that slider. Sean Kelly gets loose in the Padre bullpen.
Well, this is a big out with the score 5-2. 2 in scoring position with 2 out. High strike. Sean Kelly first up in the Padre pen.
Well, this would be a huge boost for Tyson Ross to get out of this inning. Mechanically has missed his release point, but grinding it out and only allowing 1 run would be huge for Tyson.
And he's hit on the count 1-2. So the inning began innocently enough. Worth flied out. Then Rondon singled. Harper singled. Escobar walked to load the bases. Zimmerman knocked in the run with a sacrifice fly. The runners move up. And now with 2 outs, the count 1-2 to Desmond, with the Padres hanging on to a 5-2 lead.
It's a great time for your best slider of the night.
Oh, it's at low. And just out of play. This is a delicate time. You get away early in the game with that slider that's way outside in the dirt. Hitters aren't. Now they've seen it.
Yep.
You almost have to throw it where it's going to come close to that outside corner.
Yeah, and you've seen that release point for the 3rd time. That's the difference.
Struck him out. A big strikeout, number 9 on the night for Tyson Ross. Escapes with only 1 run scoring, and we've completed 6, and the Padres lead it 5-2. Ian Desmond at bat.
Well, this is a 5-pitch at bat. Watch how Tyson Ross attacks him. 1-0 on the first pitch, slider. Then the other slider's called. This is the big pitch. That's the mistake pitch, the 2-seamer that Desmond fouls off. And then another slider he fouls off again. And then the wipeout. Slider, the emotion of Austin Hedges, Tyson Ross, and Ian Desmond. Frustrations continue, but a huge at bat for Tyson Ross.
9 strikeouts for Ross. That matches his season high. So 9 strikeouts plus a 2-for-2 night at the plate and a sacrifice. Doug Fister now with Melvin Upton leading off the 7th.
Sorry, Dick. This would be a great opportunity for the Padres to answer back. Tyson Ross only limiting 1 run for the Washington Nationals.
His pitching count is relatively low through 6, so it figures he might give them another inning.
Here's the pitch location and the pitches on the third at bat by Ian Desmond. I think the third pitch, that forced the two-seam fastball.
Upton strikes out again, 1 away.
What's the difference maker?
That brings up Matt Kemp, and then Justin Upton here in the 7th.
Well, the breaking ball from Doug Fister, and that's very nicely located.
It's a pretty good 12-6, isn't it? 2-run double for Matt Kemp back in the 3rd. They got the Padres in front 2-0. He's flat out unstruck out since. He hit the 2-run double, and then Justin Upton followed with the 2-run homer. Padres posting 4 back in the 2nd.
Doug Fister is working very quickly. If you're a hitter, you have to, can't get out of the batter's box, but you can take your time, try to slow him up a little bit.
Tried to get him to chase the slider, 1-2. And he does chase. Couple of strikeouts, Upton and Kemp to open the 7th. Our game is presented in brilliant HD tonight from Washington by Sony. Two away to Justin Upton. Ball 1. Couple of strikeouts, but in between the 2-run homer from Justin Upton, and he rips that one, but hooking foul.
Well, that was a mistake by Doug Fister.
Look who's got the pair of hits, the catcher and the pitcher, Hedges and Ross. 2 for 3 for Hedges, a couple of singles, 2 for 2 for Tyson. He's not going to give up the baseball. No, I don't want you to take it. They're going to share the field. Three and 1. Yeah, 3 big innings left. The Padres had a 4-0 lead, a 5-1 lead, now 5-2. And a foul ball past Glenn Hoffman at 3rd. And since the All-Star break, the Padres are 20-15. They started 15-10 on the season. Hit well to deep right center field. That's way out there, and Upton is hit another. Touch 'em all. Well, it was Jerko last night with a pair of home runs, and Justin Upton with number 21, and now circles the bases number 22. And that's a big insurance run. It is now 6-2 San Diego. Upton funk indeed.
No doubt about it. And definitely answering back for Justin Upton. He looks so comfortable this whole at bat. The hard foul ball down the left field line, but this is a mistake. Fastball elevated in the strike zone and deposited into right center.
Does that home run remind you of another earlier this year to right center field in New York against the Mets in the rain, driving into right center field?
Probably one of the best moments for the Padres this year.
Indeed. Jerko looks at a ball onside, 1-1. He singled the last time. That's the 10th time in his career that Upton has hit 2 home runs. 3rd time this year. Ground ball to short. Desmond gobbles it up, and the inning is over, but a big swing from Justin Upton, his 2nd home run of the game, and the Padres now enjoy a 6-2 lead. to you by your San Diego Lexus dealer. By Petco, what we feed them matters. And by Jerome's Furniture, where Jerry's price is the lowest price every day. Pure value at Jerome's. To the bottom of the 7th inning is Justin Upton with a pair of home runs leading the attack tonight. Padres with a 6-2 lead behind Tyson Ross. New first baseman Yonder Alonso replaces Derek Norris at the bag. Hedges stays behind home plate. Wilson Ramos single and a ground out. Clint Robinson is in the on deck circle. Fister is due to hit next. Two and one. The attendance announced 29,332. Nationals averaging just about what the Padres are, over 32,000. There's that slider.
Looks like a rejuvenated Tyson Ross after that inning in the emotional strikeout of Ian Desmond.
97 pitches now. Line drive, Jerko right off his shoe tops. The atom ball one away. And let's look at our Fan Diego fans of the game. Yeah, we got some here tonight. He looks like he's studying the action. I like that.
Old school.
Young fella's got a good seat there right behind the dugout. Upton fan, he's got his money's worth from Justin, huh?
Yeah, what a night to bring that sign.
And they're in all poses tonight. And break in the action here is the 4 umpires getting together over what we do not know. Last place with they're figuring out that Ramos was out on the line drive.
I mean, what were they going to do with that?
Ramos is in the dugout.
Were they going to let us take another swing? They didn't think he caught it on line.
Why don't you bring Bryce Harper up and let him decide?
Yeah, exactly. That's funny to me.
Goodness. All right, here's Clint Robinson, the pinch hitter. As a pinch hitter, 5 for 27. Overall 266. Well, here's the play. Low line drive.
You see Jed Jerko showing it to all the umpires.
And the hitter, Ramos, goes to the dugout, and then they decide, perhaps because manager Matt Williams wanted them to reconsider. Robinson fouls it back, and it's a 2-strike count.
So they do prove that they can get together and talk about the call.
The ball went into the glove.
I like that.
Thankless job. Although, unlike 30, 40 years ago, they're compensated rather nicely these days. But it's a rugged job. They're on the road. Nobody loves them.
Well, it's not just the dog days for players. It is for the umpires as well.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Trying to get through 7, Tyson Ross. And a full count. He had a 2-strike edge on Clint Robinson. And now they're saying that ball hit him in the foot. So that is not pleasing for Tyson Ross. He's ahead on the count, 2 strikes, and winds up with that slider coming down and hitting him on the back foot. So Robinson takes one for the team. Doesn't really move much, does he? So we go to the top of the order. Denard Span. See if that does any damage to the Padres lead. It's 6-2. Span has hit the ball hard all 3 times, and he hits it hard again into right field. Robinson on his way to third, and Span will make it to second on a double. That's his second tonight, both in the same spot to the right of the first baseman. The hit batsman comes into play. He's over at third now.
Span has looked very comfortable tonight. You can see him using that hole with the first base occupied. Just nice hitting by Denard Span. His second night off the disabled list.
And here comes Patrick Murphy, the manager, and that's probably going to be all for Ross. He's thrown 105 pitches. The hit batsman of Robinson is the hurtful moment in this inning. Looked to be in complete control of Robinson on the first couple of pitches.
Understand the importance of that run the last inning by Upton.
A pitching change for San Diego with 1 out, 2 men in scoring position in the bottom of the 7th. In front 6-2, but a couple of men his responsibility in scoring position here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and Sean Kelly comes in to pitch.
Well, Sean Kelly threw an inning last night with 1 strikeout. He has been excellent out of the pen, especially against right-handed hitters.
He'll be facing Jason Worth. He was collared by Tyson Ross over 3 with a strikeout. Then Anthony Rondon with Bryce Harper's down in the hole here in the 7th. Would like to get out of the inning without Harper coming up with men on base.
Mark Zepchinski is warming in the Padre bullpen, probably because of that situation.
Kelly making his 46th appearance. Ball 1.
Nice night for Tyson Ross. 104 pitches. See the 9 Ks.
That matches his season high 9. 1-1 now to Worth.
And credit Austin Hedges as well. They worked very well together as we take a look at Zepchinski.
Willie Blair, the bullpen coach there, has gone over the hitters with him. Fastball at 93. 2 balls and a strike, and something about that pitch Hedges didn't like. Clint Robinson, the pinch hitter, hit by a pitch, is at third. And Span with his second double of the game at second. One away. Three and one. You want to put him on. That brings the tying run to the plate. Rendon on deck. And the bases are loaded.
Wow.
So a 6-2 lead, but the Nationals with the bases full and only one out, and Rendon with Harper on deck. Rendon has only 3 home runs this year. He struck out twice tonight against Ross and singled the last time.
A lot of people don't understand the talent of Anthony Rendon, 5th in the NL voting for MVP last year. A lot of injury question marks this year, but a very talented player.
Infield back, and ball 1. A shaky start for Sean Kelly, throwing only 1 strike. One and one. Speed 1 and 2. Last year Rendon with 21 home runs, and he hit 287.
Nice tight slider from Sean Kelly.
In front on the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Way outside and low.
You see the athletic ability of Austin Hedges back there. Clint Robinson at third base. Continue to be impressed by the young backstop.
There's a big hole on the left side. Jan Solarte is just a step and a half off the line, guarding against the double. Big hole between Solarte and the shortstop Barmes. Big pitch, 2-2. Off speed, fouled back. Breaking ball. Robinson hit by a pitch. Span with a double. And Worth aboard on the walk. Again, the 2-2.
See if he goes back to that slider.
In the dirt. Kelly comes in and walks Worth, and now he's gone to a full count on Rendon with Bryce Harper next.
Well, Sean Kelly asked Austin Hedges, maybe not even going with a sign here. With a man on second base, you got to worry about them relaying signs. That was an easy take by Rendon.
You got to be confident enough to throw a strike here, knowing that you got to throw a strike, and he doesn't. He walks in the run. Goodness. Falling apart. You walk in a run to get to Bryce Harper with the bases loaded. It's now 6-3. This inning falling apart. Credit Rendon with an RBI. Everyone moves up 90 feet. And this is really flirting with fire. Span over to third, Worth to second, Rendon at first, and Murphy makes the slow walk. Mark Sevchinski's been warming up, and they're going to bring in the left-hander against the left-hander Harper. Well, that was a disappointing effort by Sean Kelly. Walks both men. The lefty comes in. On a ground ball out to first, acting as if it hit his foot, and the umpires bought it. Then Harper walked, loaded the bases. Ryan Zimmerman hit a grand slam. That made the score 8-2 on the way to an 8-3 win. So here's a rematch. Zepchinski against Harper. There's the after effects of the next inning. Then manager Murphy came out and was tossed. Much too late for the Padres. Now, in an inning where the Nationals have done very little, they have a double, but a hit batsman and 2 walks. 1 walk with the bases loaded from Sean Kelly to make it 6-3. So you load the bases so you can face one of the best hitters in all of baseball with only 1 out. Harper has struck out, walked and scored, and singled. And the fans on their feet. This is ideal for them. He comes out swinging.
Yeah, Zepchinski goes in with that 2-seamer in on him. Well, we knew we were going to see this matchup. The lone left-hander for the San Diego Padres, Mark Zepchinski, going against Bryce Harper, one of the most feared left-handed hitters in the game today.
Bases loaded, even better than his season average, which is 329. Line drive, base hit, right center field. That'll score 2 more. And it's a 6-4 game. Oh, that's just, you can't play it any worse than the Padres pitching here in the inning. They give them 3 extra base runners on a hit batsman and 2 walks. So Span scores, so does Worth.
Well, you see the 2-seamer to start off Bryce Harper. Then he goes into that slider mode, covering the outside part of the plate. And credit Bryce Harper for putting on a nice swing on that sweeping slider by Zepchinski. That ball's off the end of the bat, and you can see him stay closed just long enough to line this into center field. What a talented left-handed hitter in Bryce Harper.
That's the bad news. The good news is it was only a single. So from 6-1 to 6-5. There's 2 more score. Tying run at third. Still only 1 out. And Yunel Escobar, the batter.
And typically, Pat Murphy will go with matchups, and he is right now leaving Zepchinski in.
Against the right-hander Escobar, who has singled, grounded out, and walked. No one throwing currently in the Padre bullpen. Now Kevin Quackenbush is getting ready.
It's almost that time where you feel like the game is speeding up for the Padres. I just want to call a 20-second timeout.
Yeah. Infield back. They'll give up the tying run for a chance at a double play. Ball 2. So the hit batsman has scored. One of the 2 walks given up by Kelly has scored. The old no defense against the base on balls. So Roscoe 6 1/3 allows 3 runs and 8 hits. Actually make it 4 runs. And Zepchinski having trouble throwing a strike. That's a shame. Ross certainly pitched a wonderful game, and now in threat of not coming up with a decision. And 4 runs charged to his book.
Well, the Padres are still 1 pitch away, and you have to make a pitch in this situation.
Oh, it's the run back to first base. Double play. Oh, how big is that? He let him swing 3-0, Escobar, and he grounds into an around the horn double play. Oh, there are big twin killings, and then there are major double plays. And Solarte, Jerko, Alonso, they turn it barely, and the Padres still lead. A very tense inning as the Padres gifting base runners, 3 of them, and 2 of them scored, and that double play bailed out Zepchinski, and that on a 3-0 pitch.
Oh, you see Drew Storen taking over for the Washington Nationals. This was the closer all the way through the All-Star game. They added Jonathan Papelbon to fortify their bullpen, and he goes into the 8th inning guy.
Norris leads it off for the Padres with Hedges and Barmes to follow. Actually, this is Alonso hitting in Norris's spot since he took his place defensively. Batting for the first time tonight. Well, that second home run by Upton, then the difference in the game at the moment at 6-5. Ground ball up the middle. Nice stop by the second baseman Rondon, and he takes a hit away from Alonso.
Well, talented young man. He's played third base, and you can see the actions going to his right and diving and making a spectacular play.
That's the first out here in the 8th. The Nationals battling with the Mets in the National League East. Padres left the door open, and they're trying to take advantage and come from behind, knowing that the Mets are continuing to win at Philadelphia. Hedges is 2 for 3 tonight. The starting battery of Tyson Ross and Austin Hedges 4 for 5 in the game. To Hedges. He's taking good swings, isn't he?
Yeah, he's taking aggressive swings both on the fastball and that pitch, the slider. Joaquin Benoit. Willie Blair discussed what he's going to have in the bottom of the ninth. Constantly game planning at this level. Talking about scenarios, how you're going to attack hitters.
Storin is 27 from Brownsburg, Indiana. His dad is a radio personality in Indianapolis, a talk show personality. Two balls, two strikes, one out, bases empty, and the Padre eighth. To Hopper, backing up is Desmond. Now the long throw in time. Yeah, it's time now for the Bill Hall play of the game. First and third with one out, 3 runs in. It's Desmond hitting into a 5-4-3 double play. Make that Escobar into the 5-4-3 double play, and tried to beat the throw on the relay with the head first slide. But that was huge.
You say one pitch, and Zepchinski with that two-seam fastball inducing that ground ball, and a nice turn by Solarte starting that double play.
Glenn Barmas with a walk. He's over 2, a couple of fly balls. Ball 1. In the last of the 8th, it'll be Zimmerman, Desmond, and Ramos. Tough lineup, this Washington starting 9. Two and 0. Padres used Joaquin Benoit last night. Kimbrel, no. Scoreboard has it a ball and a strike. It's 2-1. Padres got 4 in the 3rd inning tonight. A 2-run double by Kemp, and Upton came up after Kemp's double and hit a 2-run homer. Nationals got a run back without the 8 of a hit in the 4th inning. Walk to Harper. He moved around on outs and a stolen base. Strike 3 call. The breaking ball gets Barmas. Storin with a 1-2-3 8th inning. Here come the Nationals, trailing by 1.
And wipeout slider exposing these Washington Nationals hitters. It was pitched off the fastball, and he was very aggressive with that fastball to set up that slider. A nice night for Tyson Ross, 6 1/3 with 9 strikeouts.
It's the fourth time this year he struck out 9 in the game as Joaquin Benoit makes his 56th game appearance. 2.18 ERA. When look at the batting averages, lefties 167, righties 136. He'll face 3 right-handed hitters: Zimmerman, Desmond, and Ramos.
Important for Joaquin Benoit to get the Padre hitters inside the dugout again. Try to add on to this lead and also get the ball to Craig Kimbrell for the 9th.
And the other is to try to get a 1-2-3 inning and postpone the possibility of Bryce Harper coming up in the 9th inning. Zimmerman has a couple of RBIs without a base hit tonight after the grand slam last night. He brought Harper in. Harper at third with 1 out in the 4th inning on a ground out, and then he knocked in another with a sacrifice fly in the 6th inning.
You saw Bob Davison flinch right there.
Yeah, you could hear the Padre dugout. Hey, what's wrong with that? And that's a pitcher's strike. Didn't get the call. So 2-0 to Zimmerman. Up in his wheelhouse.
Yeah, Ryan Zimmerman was sitting dead red on that fastball, 96 miles an hour at the top of the strike zone.
Mets lead 6-1 in the 8th inning at Philadelphia. That catches the paint.
Yeah, that's a perfect pitch by Joaquin Benoit.
Right on the black. Deep into the right field corner, but slicing into the crowd. There's an old Montreal fan.
Austin Hedges go through the signs multiple times at that point. It could be Joaquin Benoit just wanting to survey the land a little bit. Very methodical approach.
Very.
See if he goes to the changeup. Yeah. There it is. Fastball away, slider, fastball in, changeup.
Shook him off the first time. He came right back to the changeup. In the dirt. 3-2.
You know, when pitchers take their time and they're very methodical, it actually adds a comfort level to the hitters. Start processing it, doesn't speed up the game. You slow yourself down. Ryan Zimmerman breathing, taking his time.
Of the 5 runs scored tonight by Washington, 3 have come on Padre pitching wildness. 2 walks and a hit batsman. 3 runs of the 5 have scored. And now 3 and 2, and another changeup. Left side, Varmus on the run, throws him out. Among the leaders in the National League in polls, setting up the closer, the 8th inning specialist, Tony Watson, Sergio Romo for the Giants, Stroke with Chicago, and Segrist in St. Louis.
Well, you got to remember, Joaquin Benoit started the year as the closer, and then they made the trade for Craig Kimbrell. He moved into the 8th inning.
The role he has played, although with the Tigers, was the closer there for a couple of seasons. And Kimbrell stretching. First pitch swung on and missed by Ian Desmond.
Ian Desmond taking a healthy hack at that slider.
Desmond a couple of strikeouts and a ground out tonight. Big strikeout. Tyson Ross, his 9th strikeout of the game, back in the 6th inning with runners at 2nd and 3rd. He got Desmond to go down swinging.
And limit that inning to only 1 run.
1-1. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, to bat next. Tip 1-2.
That's what velocity does. That ball was supposed to be inside. He pulls it to that glove side. There's 95 miles an hour, and you see Ian Desmond going for the downs with that pull approach.
Big hole left center. Strike 3 called. Caught the inside corner with a fastball. 2 away. 3rd time Desmond has struck out tonight. Brings up Ramos.
Well, he just reaches back with his 4-seam fastball on the inside part. And Austin Hedges sticking at the top of the strike zone. And you watch Austin Hedges when he finishes a sign, he puts a fist, giving him, get it in there. And the emotion of that strikeout.
Ramos, 2-run home run last night. He has a single ground out line out tonight. Lined out to Jerko. Remember, that was that low line drive that confused the umpires last time. He won for the tie. Change up. 6-5. Padres lead it here in the bottom of the 8th in Washington. Padres led 4-0, 4-1, 5-1, 5-2, 6-2, and then 3 runs in the last inning for Washington to make it 6-5. Last 3 games, Ramos 5 for 10 with a couple of home runs.
If you're going to throw the breaking ball, it has to be down in the strike zone.
Although he got a curveball down low last night and golfed it for a home run. It was a pretty good pitch.
And with the slider away.
And a weak ground ball to the right side. Jerko there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Benoit. To the 9th. Padres 6, Nationals 5. Dodgers at the start tonight, but they're winning 2.5 in front of the Giants. Arizona lost last night. They fall 6.5 back. The Padres at 7.5, and then Colorado. Ninth inning, and Jonathan Papelbon, the former Philadelphia closer, acquired at the trade deadline by Washington to fortify their chances for the playoffs.
12th all-time with 345 career saves. That's the reason why he has been pitching the ninth. He's been asked to hold the Padres at bay tonight.
Perfect 20
situation.
Excuse me. Perfect 20 for 20 this year in saves. Travis Jankowski is going to pinch hit for Benoit. And then it'll be Solarte and Melvin Upton here in the top of the ninth. Padres 6 and the Nationals 5.
Fastball slider split for Papelbon. Likes to go to that splitter with 2 strikes.
Escobar, the third baseman, creeps in on the grass in respect to Jankowski's speed and bunting talent. And strike 1. And Kimbrel will be the pitcher in the bottom of the ninth inning. Padres would like to give him an insurance run to work with. Oh, that's a wide plate. First pitch appeared a bit inside. That one just off the outside edge. 0-2. Well, that second pitch did nibble the edge. And a 3-pitch strikeout. Jankowski gone. Solarte, a single in 4 trips and a sacrifice fly. Last time up, he hit that fly ball to deep right to Harper, and Tyson Ross tried to tag and advance to second, overslid the bag, so it became a double play. Easy chance in left for Worth. And 2 quick outs here in the Padre ninth. Brings up Melvin Upton. 0 for 3 with a walk and a couple of strikeouts. Walked his first time. Was safe on an error by third baseman Escobar in the third in front of Kemp's 2-run double. Brother Justin has done the big damage with 2 home runs, 1 with the man on. Throwing strikes. I thought we might see Brett Wallace tonight. It's his 29th birthday, and happy birthday. Kind of saved that until he might have come up as a pinch hitter. Ripped. Foul. 5 feet down the left field side. Kids are smart, aren't they? They know how to race down from their seats and get that souvenir. Good on you. One and 2. It'll be a pinch hitter to lead off the bottom of the ninth for Washington, with Span and Worth to follow. Anyone gets on Rondon, with Harper due 5th. Ooh, we got a pitch to hit there. It's high, but good swing.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres. talked about the pinch hitting situation with Matt Williams. He has options. Trey Turner from the right side, Michael Taylor, Jose Lobaton, and Danny Espinosa, who's had a tremendous year for the Washington Nationals.
He's a switch hitter, but he's hitting more right than switching around to left. And Upton for the third straight time strikes out. Here come the Nationals, and they'll have to face the fireballing Craig Kimbrell. Padres leading by 1, 6-5. Left and a 2-run home run in the third inning, and then a solo shot that is the difference in the game now in the 7th inning. That one to right center field. His 21st and 22nd of the season. And the Padres on his strong shoulders have a 1-run advantage going to the bottom of the 9th inning. Craig Kimbrell will pitch. The pinch hitter will be Danny Espinosa.
Well, Craig Kimbrell, his 35th save against his former club, the Atlanta Braves, last Wednesday. 35 saves, ranks 3rd on all of baseball. Mark Melancon, Trevor Rosenthal, and then Craig Kimbrell.
Kimbrell in the Sunday loss to St. Louis came in, and he has not pitched the same when it's not a meaningful game. The game had already been decided. Gave up a 2-run homer to Stephen Piscotty. Espinosa has more power on the left side. He's hit 10 home runs hitting left-handed, only 2 right-handed. Strike 1 at 87, so he doesn't come in with the fastball.
That power breaking ball that he can have.
Another breaking ball.
I think that was just to see if Danny Espinosa would get out of the strike zone after strike 1.
One of the many infielders produced at Long Beach State, Espinosa. There's the fastball that Padre fans have learned to love.
It's like the fastball, he's asking for it up.
Strike 3 swinging, foul tip, and Hedges clutches it, 1 away.
Let's watch how Craig Kimbrell attacks Danny Espinosa. The first pitch is that power breaking ball, buckles the knees, tries to expose him on the second pitch. Then he goes to number 1, the fastball away, and Austin Hedges asks for the next one up. He goes right down the middle with firm velocity.
Denard Span up 4 times, and he's hit the ball hard all 4 times. Couple of doubles. Sharp grounder to first, and another hard hit ball to short. Strike 1 with the breaking ball. They've missed him in his leadoff abilities, missing 40 games until off the DL last night. Good speed.
Well, just the pressure from the Washington Nationals perspective. They look at the scoreboard and they see the Mets winning 9-4 in the 9th inning against Philadelphia. Also trying to face one of the most feared closers in the game in Craig Kimbrell.
Reminder again, tomorrow our TV time 4 o'clock here on Fox Sports San Diego. Cashner against young Joe Ross, Tyson's kid brother. 0-2. Goes to the breaking ball. Jason Worth on deck. Span a good fastball hitter.
See if he tries to elevate again.
Sherko to Alonso, 2 away. And that'll bring up Worth with 2 outs, bases empty. Run out away from a heart-stopping victory. Looking pretty cool, but boy, there were some nervous times in this game. That 7th inning was nerve-wracking when you can't throw strikes and everyone feels so helpless.
And you go to that pitch, that 2-seam fastball by Mark Zepchinski, and the turn by Solarte and Jerko in the middle.
After 3 runs had scored and the tying run with 1 out at third. Up to Worth now. He walked the last time, and he takes a fastball strike. 0 for 3 tonight. He was one of the 2 men that Sean Kelly walked without getting an out in that 3-run 7th inning. Breaking ball bounces, 1-1.
It's got so much velocity on that breaking ball that you don't even have time, if you're Austin Hedges, to get down and block the ball.
A severe bite on that curveball. Let's see what he has here. 1-1. There it is for a strike. 1-2. Down to a final strike, the Nationals. Overthrew that a bit.
Excuse me for laughing. I've been in this situation and it is not comfortable.
All right, he's just missed with a fastball. The previous pitch was a curveball for a strike. Now you got Worth guessing. Popped up off first, and Alonso can't quite reach in there. So close to being the final out. Just out of play.
3 Padres surrounding that play. understanding the importance of this last out.
Worth still alive. 2-2 count. Anthony Rondon on deck. Bryce Harper in the hole. Kimbrel didn't like the feel of that new baseball, so he'll try to wrap a wrinkle into this one.
Let's see if he goes to that power breaking ball again.
Foul back. Went after ball 3. Got to protect.
If you have 99 miles an hour, why not?
Rondon on deck. So a good battle by Worth. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bases empty. 6-5 Padres here in the 9th. Ground ball to third. Fair ball. Solardi guarding the line. Ball game is over. Kimbrel slams the door again, and the Padres win a dramatic 6-5 victory here. Game 2 of the series in Washington. Let's go to Mike Pomerantz.